It's taking too long, too much effort. I'm not finding anyone after all these years.
But then people who starve for truth, being ready to know the truth is another thing.
When you open up emotionally during ta'aruf based on rationality, macam dip style. If it's worth the wait, then it's worth it. You are what you look for. Then you will find positive things. Hey everybody and welcome to Muzz. You're with Nurul and
Daniel.
Daniel.
Alright.
Okay, so hari ni kita nak bincangkan salah ke nak cari jodoh online.
Yes, dia satu topik yang sangat controversial. Sangat-sangat controversial
And
Okay.
cuba tanya I, salah ke tak cari jodoh online?
Okay. Salah ke tak cari jodoh online ni?
Jawapan I salah. Kalau you
Salah. Oh, okay. Jawapan dia
suami
salah.
atau isteri orang yang saja nak test market, pasangan orang, tunang orang yang saja nak test market. Please. No. That's a big no.
Okay. I rasa macam when we talk about cari jodoh apps ni kan, the reason why it's being portrayed as something wrong is because of the stigma. Dia macam ada narrative yang macam I think up till this day lah sebenarnya, ada je orang yang akan macam, oh, you actually know your partner from dating apps or like cari jodoh apps. Why do you think there is a stigma to this?
I think benda ni bermula dengan app cari jodoh yang first famous. I think everyone knows it without kita perlu cakap pun apa app tersebut.
Okay.
And app tersebut punya objective was more to like looking for fun and not looking for anything serious kan. So when you're doing that, dia macam, you know, like orang terus macam, are you sure you found your jodoh dekat app ni? Ataupun are you sure you nak cari jodoh kat sini? Sebab orang-orang kat sini semua tak serius. Orang-orang kat app semua tak serius. Sebab dipukul rata sama.
Okay.
Tapi that's just my opinion lah. What
Your
you think?
opinion lah. Okay. Tapi kan sebenarnya when we talk about stigma ataupun sentimen ni kan, kalau we look at cari jodoh applications ni, kalau dekat luar daripada Malaysia, negara-negara Mak Saleh lah kiranya, they're actually very open. So the Muslims there, they are very open in using these applications to find their potential partner and spouse, right? But when it comes to Asia countries kan, these Asians, diorang masih lagi ada stigma tu. Dan stigma ni, it's very saturated untuk ASEAN, the Asians je sebenarnya. Why do you think that?
That comes down to two reasons, I think.
Okay.
The first one being that we are relatively new to this concept of mencari jodoh secara online.
Okay.
Because macam benda ni sebaru kat kita, tapi dah lama dekat Western world apa semua. The second reason is because Asian culture is very famous for, you know, like setting up marriage. So family yang set up who you're gonna marry with. Daripada kecil lagi, you're gonna marry with this person punya family. You know, trying to get away from this traditional part of the culture is a bit more harder lah because we still do hold on to our culture and our traditions very tightly. So that's what I think again.
Okay. So tadi macam earlier tadi you started you saying that you tak boleh guna aplikasi cari jodoh kalau you're only for casual things, right? Casual things. But there are people who is very intentional. They're very serious there. How do you know that this person is actually casual ke or intentional ke or macam mana?
Okay, ni dari woman point of view tengah going through a guy's profile lah.
Okay.
So I think it's more on how lelaki tu present diri dia dekat bio dia. Apa yang dia list down dekat dia punya bio. Apa dia punya, basically apa yang dia mencari lah. Dia tahu orang tu sebenarnya nak mencari pasangan hidup ataupun pasangan for fun. Kalau yang nak mencari pasangan untuk hidup tu, dia akan list down more, I think more detailed, I guess. In terms of dia punya marriage plan, marriage goal.
The intentions lah.
Basically intention. Apa yang dia mencari. Macam as we know on Muzz, kita ada the marriage intention punya like timeline tu kan.
Okay.
So you know that, okay, dia ada certain timeline untuk dia nak get through the ta'aruf process and go towards nikah. Dia dah tahu dah, dia nak, kalau dah nak kahwin, nak berapa anak. Nak anak atau tak nak anak. Nak relocate atau tak relocate. So all those things yang small indicators of sama ada lelaki tu serious ataupun tak. And then, kalau lelaki tu just macam, basically by age juga, you can tell if that guy is very young, dia tak kerja yang tetap lagi, nothing stable in his life, you can tell that that person is not ready for marriage. Sebab lelaki yang dah ready for marriage, dia tahu dia financially stable, dia physically stable, you know, physically ready
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
married and to lead.
Okay.
So what do you think kalau perempuan pula macam mana?
The pointers that you mentioned is actually it can works for both gender.
Oh, okay.
Sebab readiness untuk getting into a serious relationship ni dia tak eksklusif untuk lelaki saja. Like what you mentioned, like you want a guy who knows when to, how long is the ta'aruf process, bila kita nak kahwin and all those things kan. I think it has to be similar to women's juga. Sebab women pun kena tahu bila diorang nak, how long they are going to do the ta'aruf process.
Basically apa dia nak.
Yeah, so what's the next stage? What's the next stage? To basically, they need to know that. You don't have to figure it out whole, but you just need to know that, okay, after this, what's going to happen and happen, you know? Ultimately, I rasa it's about being serious. That is the ultimatum lah, I would say, yang what's going to make it or break it, kan? Tapi sometimes bila orang nak percaya, dia kena tengok benda ni pernah berlaku ke? Is there any successful stories yang happens kan? So, is there any successful couples or successful marriage yang met through this Cari Jodoh apps?
Even working with Muzz, I have met lots of couples yang met on Muzz and they shared their story, like how my favorite story would be Ain dengan Ashraf, where
okay.
they met each other during COVID. Diorang match and then like COVID you cannot like travel jumpa. So what they did was they used our video call feature. And then waktu video call they got to know each other apa semua. This is all like within restriction lah, menjaga batas apa semua kan. And then they decided to actually cut off from, you know, meneruskan because diorang macam, you know, COVID waktu tu macam PKPD, PKPB, kan.
All those PK tu, okay, faham?
Lepas tu, they were just like, it's okay. If it's meant to be, it will be. One day we'll reconnect kan. Okay, and then 1.5 years later, Ashraf tiba-tiba macam text Ain and said, I'm going to Haji. If I ever did anything wrong, please forgive me. And then Ain replied, Ain cakap, I'm also going for Hajj.
Wow.
And if I did anything wrong, please forgive me. And they were like, wow. But they said to each other macam, let's focus on our ibadah. Kalau ada jodoh, kita akan jumpa lah kat sana.
Okay.
And they did. They focused on that ibadah. Pada hari Arafah tu, tiba-tiba Ashraf macam ternampak kemah untuk jemaah Malaysia.
Okay.
And he just like ask je lah, tanya je lah kan, tak pergi. So she was like, which kemah are you in? Which number kan? It was 60 something. I remember Ain cakap and Ashraf cerita. They were like, Ashraf was like, oh, I'm actually here. Would you like to meet? And waktu tu dua-dua dalam keadaan wukuf, is it?
Berihram.
Berihram. So orang jumpa, you know, very unpolished, unfiltered.
Very raw. It's just they being themselves, right?
I'm here for ibadah, for
the devotion for God, yes.
And they were just like, hey. Macam tu je, on the first time they met. So this is 2 years ago lah. They call Arafah, hari Arafah is the Arafah Seri. They decided, alalang dah rezeki ni, Allah saying it's meant to be. Diorang balik negara masing-masing terus start proses untuk berkahwin. So that's one of my most favorite story of like, you met online, how can you find true love without physical appearance?
Betul.
But there you go. That's one of the most wonderful story that I can ever share with you lah.
That is actually really goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I get goosebumps every
that
time.
story actually gave me goosebumps. Like, if it meant to be, it will be, right? That is the epitome of that terms lah kan. Macam kalau benda tu nak jadi, dia akan jadi juga.
Yeah. I still remember Ain punya quote. She said, if Allah says it's meant to be, it will be. So it is. It is a cliche quote, but that's it.
What are the patterns that you see? What are the
things they're doing right lah, basically?
Yeah, what are the things that everyone shares when they shares their success stories, right? Apa yang common denominator ataupun sesuatu yang everyone actually mentions about this?
Okay, I just also want to mention timeline-wise lah.
Okay.
Ramai ada couple yang dia dah on the app for years, lots of years. And dia dah nak give up. Tapi lepas tu macam tiba-tiba someone mention, hey, how's it going on the app? Lepas tu dia macam, okay, I'm gonna start again. And I know there's a lot of time yang people say macam, it's taking too long, too much effort. I'm not finding anyone after all these years. Tapi basically it's the consistency of you actually spending, this one couple told me, I think her name was Shahira.
Okay.
She said to me like, you have to spend at least 1 hour in your day just for that. Benda tu adalah effort. And bila ada effort, like, and then you put doa and then you put tawakal, then you will get something in
Betul?
return lah kan.
Yes, yes.
So your effort is spending 1 hour per day just to go through profiles ataupun just to chat with people. Tu pula certain orang, untuk perempuan ni paling cepat I dengar, and I actually met the couple 10 minutes, iaitu untuk seorang perempuan.
Okay.
So her name was Hurain. She was just on the app for 10 minutes je.
10 minutes is actually quite short.
Yes.
For you to know someone.
And sebenarnya dia download pun sebab kawan dia yang suruh. Kawan dia macam
Kau dia
download.
suruh ke kau berpaksa?
Kawan dia paksa actually.
Paksa,
She
okay.
was like, I'm not even interested in all this. Tapi
Okay.
kawan dia paksa. So dia download. Scroll like dia suruh like scroll in front of her lah kan. Okay, pak 10 minutes, pak match.
Match, okay.
And to be frank, dia actually blur profile. So dia blur profile because like she wanted to jaga her safety apa semua. So basically
Okay, she blurred her profile. She was forced. She was not that willingly lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she still got it. But dia dah ada intention nak kahwin. Okay, let me get back to that kejap lagi.
Okay.
Untuk lelaki, the latest I met baru-baru ni was, nama dia Haris. Dia ada dekat app tu, I think tak sampai 1 hari.
Okay.
Okay, ni this the fastest untuk lelaki. Usually perempuan yang paling sekejap. Lelaki yang usually years or months.
Okay.
So untuk Haris ni, it was just 1 day. Dia terus match. Dia punya isteri actually 1 year lebih dah pakai Muzz. Diorang terus match, and on the same day, they decided, you're the one. We have a few couples yang match and terus decide, you're the one. Waktu I scroll your profile, I already knew you were the one. That's why I liked your profile. And I was hoping that you liked my profile back for a match lah kan. So, yeah, these stories and what they have in common, every time I ask them, why did you like his profile? Why did you like her profile? It's because, number one, their bio or their photo already indicates yang, hey, I'm here to get married. Yelah, when you have the intention, you set your intention, I'm here to get married. When you have the intention, you dah ada the setting like, I want to set my profile in a certain way.
Yeah, betul-betul.
And that's the most important thing of all sebenarnya. Sebab bila you dah tahu, okay, aku nak kahwin, this is macam you ada cakap before this about writing a resume kan. You want this job. You have to write your resume in a certain way kan.
Yes.
Same with your marriage profile lah. So that's what they have in common.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm catching here is that you are saying intention is everything.
Yes, of course. Dalam Islam pun semua benda bermula dengan niat. Lillahi ta'ala.
Okay, alright. So what we hear is a good intentions. Okay. Do you think that people sometimes also uses this Cari Jodoh apps with a wrong reasons lah, a wrong intention? For example, we can't deny that ramai orang yang memerlukan validations. Kan, for an example. So they would just use this aplikasi Cari Jodoh ni for them to get the intentions that they need. For example, that's one of the examples. And there are many, I would categorize them as a wrong reasons for these people to be there. So, what's your take on this?
I feel like untuk orang-orang yang tak serius ni, then maybe you shouldn't be on a marriage app. Sebab marriage app ni untuk orang yang betul-betul focused on settling down and doing serious things. And if you're just there to waste your time and play games and maybe hurt people along the way, then, like, it's a waste of everyone's time. Your time, orang lain punya masa juga kan. You shouldn't be, there are other apps to be getting validation from kan. Why are you on this one specific platform?
Yes. Probably like you should just use your social media.
Yeah, social media banyak lagi actually different ways of getting validation kan.
For us to have a clear intentions kan, there's one step before it.
Okay.
And that is emotional readiness.
Okay.
Betul. Sebab kalau dari segi emotion kan, dari segi your mental, kalau you dah memang ready, baru you boleh ada intention. Kalau the first part you tak ready, you cannot even have any intentions. Okay. What is an emotional readiness?
I think Me, like also share your opinion on this.
Yeah.
But I think emotional readiness just means that you know what you want, you know what you're looking for, and you are ready for what is about to come. You are already emotionally matured, mentally ready as well. Sebab going through all these process of berkenalan dengan orang is really exhausting sebenarnya. When you get to know someone and then tiba-tiba macam tak jadi. Dah kena mula balik dari what's your favorite color? What's your favorite vegetable? Kan?
Yeah, I hate that.
That's all.
Yeah.
So the good thing about ta'aruf is that it doesn't tap into these emotional things sangat. It's more on the important stuffs. Like
What?
what's your marriage plan? Where do you plan on living after kahwin? How many kids do you plan on having? What do you think financially? Macam like what's the arrangement dekat situ? So it's more on the rational side of thinking side lah.
Okay.
So that also allows your emotions to be protected.
Okay.
At the same time, your heart, and basically emotionally ready ni is like you know that okay, if things don't work out, then it's okay. Sebab some people bila dia tak emotionally ready and things don't work out, they rasa rejected, they rasa diri dia fail, and they don't want to try again.
Okay.
And that's why some people macam, they give up on looking for jodoh. And, you want to elakkan that lah.
My take pula emotional readiness ni, there is two category.
Okay.
There is your logic and your emotional.
Okay.
But the fundamental of it, it's that you kena tahu yang it's your readiness to... Everyone have a sense of independence, right? So when you try to learn about someone new, it's about codependency. So codependency, it's about including another person into your life.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a change of routine. That is just how I can simplify things lah. Macam it's a routine then, from your speech ke your communications ke your day-to-day things that you do semua benda kan. Emotional readiness goes back to how ready you are to have another person in your life. Sebab ultimately, you are an emotional being. Another person pun an emotional being. So it's gonna be like an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster. Like maybe on your good day, it's that person's bad day. On that person's good day, it's your bad day. So it's about finding the balance. Sebab kalau you say that macam you're ready, okay, I want to have an intention to get married apa benda semua, tapi fundamentally you belum ready untuk terima another person into your life or that codependency, I don't think it will work.
Yeah, betul, because like it's even you kadang-kadang have problems sorting out your emotion.
Betul.
Ini pula having someone else and you cannot express your emotions through words like 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Only
can
sense out.
okay, alright. Bila you dah emotionally ready, for example, then we have another thing which is authenticity.
Okay.
Okay. How far that you can go to be authentically yourself? Especially dalam aplikasi cari jodoh.
It's a legit question.
Yeah.
Are you asking you?
Yeah. Sebab okay, here's my take.
Okay.
My take is that everyone wants truth, for example. Okay, I want truth, like what happens between you and your ex, for example. But then people who starve for truth, they are actually not ready for the truth. Wanting to know the truth is one thing, but being ready to know the truth is another thing. So oftentimes people seek for truth, tapi they themselves sebenarnya tak ready untuk terima kenyataan. Jadi bila they got the bitter truth of it, they just like spiral. They just cannot digest it. They just feel like, oh,
Not accepted.
dia orang memang tak berterima kan fundamentally. So I rasa that's my take on that one. So it seems with authenticity. Macam people say just be yourself apa benda semua. Tapi to a certain degree, when this person, this entity actually be themselves, you tak boleh terima. Kan? Jadi how authentic can you be, or how orang kata quote unquote be yourself, how far can you be yourself
Okay.
in a cari jodoh apps, for example?
I think when you are on the app, it's more to like looking dulu, mencari, and then when you actually match with someone, it's more on the basic or general question. It's not even opening up yourself lagi. And then once you know there's a connection, you tahu like on these basic things yang very important, more on the future punya planning side, you sekufu, you ada chemistry on that thing, baru you boleh proceed to the next thing, which is physically meeting up. And dari situ baru you can start slowly opening up. Tapi itu pun, even in ta'aruf classes, coach and counselors share that you are not supposed to even open up emotionally sangat pun during ta'aruf.
Okay, alright.
Because why? When you open up emotionally during ta'aruf, the tendency of you making decisions based on rationality macam dips tau. Because rationality and emotional, they're something that goes side by side.
Okay.
And when something is heavier, then something is lighter. So when you're heavier on rationale, then you are able to make rational decisions lah basically. Tapi when you're heavier emotionally, then you are making decisions based on emotions, and we know that's not good. Kan?
Okay, tapi let me just stop you.
Okay.
Tapi sekarang ni semua orang wants fast intimacy. Everyone wants it chop chop. I want it now.
I have one sentence to like,
Fast track intimacy ni.
this is from a few couples also. They said the same thing. Yang I macam amazed, like, are you guys like looking at the same quote? Tapi basically it's like, if it's worth the wait, then it's worth it.
If it's worth the wait.
Then it's worth it.
Okay.
So maknanya, if you fast track something, contoh you bina something. Sebab ni like talking about contoh nak membina rumah tangga. The foundation you bina macam cepat. How strong, how kukuh is that rumah going to be? But when you bina as solid as possible the foundation, and then baru you bina tiang. Tapi tiang tu you take up so much time. You bina betul-betul. And then you bina one more tiang, and then one more tiang. And then baru you letak bumbung apa semua. Benda tu, even though it takes time, tapi kukuh. Because you're going through all those layers as detailed as possible. Tapi itulah ada pula macam don't take too much time because macam seize the opportunity. So you have to find a balance in between these two lah basically.
So basically, there is no set in stone how short is short, how long is long.
Yeah, no. In ta'aruf, it's just you already know in your heart kan. Kita punya qada dan qadar dah tertulis.
Betul.
And our soul already knows like what we're going to be going through kan in life. Coaches and counselors from ta'aruf class also said that when you know, you know. And nobody can describe this feeling, but bila you tengah ta'aruf, there's a certain point that you know this is not it. And you have to be as honest as possible. This is emotional readiness as well lah. You have to be honest as possible with yourself. And no matter how much you like about the guy, you tak nampak langsung flaw dia, tapi diri you, hati you dah terus bagi tahu, this is not right. You have to trust in yourself lah.
I rasa zaman sekarang people say label that as gut feelings.
Yeah, gut feeling.
Gut feelings kan. So what that I can actually sum up from what you have mentioned is that walaupun nowadays everyone is starving for validation, for example, or people are starving for fast connections, but you need to take your time. So maybe you need to start superficially. Macam you say like part of ta'aruf, sebenarnya kita kenal secara luaran dulu. Bila we have reached to a certain degree, baru we go deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think benda tu it's worth highlighting semua.
Yeah, I don't think it's superficial pun. Basically, knowing orang tu punya marriage plans, like moving forward 5 tahun akan datang, apa yang dia nampak in dia punya future, apa yang dia nak work towards, that's actually something that's deeper than like talking about emotions ke apa ke. Because if someone cannot tell you their 5-year goals or plans detailed, macam maknanya I mean it doesn't have to be super detailed lah, tapi basically dia dah tahu dah in 5 years apa dia nak buat, apa yang dia bayangkan, maybe 2 kids ke, a house, duduk rumah sendiri ataupun sewa, those things lah.
Okay. So I guess like we thought all that we mentioned is about individual tu sendiri kan. But then when all this individual dia dah set, dia dah ready, dia dah ada emotional readiness apa benda semua tu, maybe there is one thing that hinder, which is the family punya stigma.
Okay.
Kan? Family punya stigma macam okay, I'm already ready, I dah know all this concept of ta'aruf, I'm ready to get into ta'aruf. Tapi that one thing yang macam that hinders a guy or a girl, maybe the family punya take on church of pets kan. Okay, what role that we can play as a person, right? for us to break this stigma, especially for this generation yang Gen X, baby boomers, the older one, right? So kita nampak there is a trend, for example, yang Gen Z, millennials, even half Gen X yang menggunakan aplikasi Cari Jodoh ni kan. But the older ones, they might have a bit of a negative thing on it. So what role can play to break these stigmas?
I think it's basically using the app correctly lah kot. Using any tool correctly. So, contohnya you sendiri adalah user and you use it as safely as possible. You use all the features for security. You take the security measures for yourself untuk elakkan diri kena scam ke, bombing ke apa ke. So, itu untuk diri you. And then when you avoid all these negative stories, then you don't have a negative story to share to other people.
Betul.
And then to other people yang also using but not using it to the right intent, and just avoid platforms yang people who are seriously looking for marriage apa semua lah. And then I also want to share like a few couples are not really open to sharing to their family. Padahal dorang dah kahwin. Tapi dorang still tak share. Tapi dorang share to the younger generation yang still tengah mencari jodoh, like their anak buah ke, their cousin ke. Macam, oh, if you're looking for jodoh, I actually found mine on Muzz, macam tu. And the reason why is because I think it will take a bit more time untuk the older generation, because dorang grow up with different punya cara kan mencari jodoh. It was dulu macam tersuka and then tulis surat and then call pakai public phone, letak duit shilling. So it's kind of hard to change something that like for a really long time kan.
Betul.
So tapi ada juga ramai parents yang couples yang cerita dengan parents dia okay. And ada juga parents yang sendiri come up to us and say, I want to help my daughter find jodoh. How do I create a profile for her? And I'm like, okay, here's how. So actually ramai moms yang macam, ibu nak tolong carikan anak ibu punya jodoh. So there are two sides of the basically stigma lah kot. Positive and not negative terus lah, but still not
So positive.
not so positive. But I feel like the positive side is a lot more percentage compared to the negative. So I'm open to that. Yeah.
I rasa fundamentally kita jangan takut ataupun dimomok dengan apa yang people put online.
Yeah.
Because people share the experience kan. I mean, mostly people share the negative experience.
Yeah.
Sebab nowadays.
Sebab negative is really easy to sell.
Yeah, and then people just like to read all these things kan. But let's just not let that thing consume you.
Yeah, I
That's
think
important.
you are what you look for.
Betul.
If you look for positive things, then you will find positive things. Kan?
Betul. It's like what you are, what you eat.
Yes.
That's it.
And what you're feeding your brain lah kan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think we are reaching towards the end. But let's just sum this up by saying that, okay, kalau orang masih like hesitated, like there's a bit of like friction, like I want to try but I'm scared. I have the internal stigma of myself sebenarnya. What do you have to say?
Ayat klise lagi sekali, tak cuba tak tahu, tak kenal maka tak cinta. This is one of the basically opportunity that you can take up. Cuba je create. Kalau maybe jumpa jodoh physically, then tak apa, mungkin rezeki jodoh tu jumpa secara fizikal. Tapi at least you tried all the different types of cara nak cari jodoh. Kalau contoh orang yang nak mencari jodoh kat luar sana, bagi tahu makcik, bagi tahu pak imam kat kampung tu, bagi tahu your parents. Like, use all the ways that you have. Because no way is the wrong way when your niat is right.
Betul. It goes back to your niat lah.
Yes.
I guess, we pretty much covered on what's wrong using Cari Jodoh apps. There's nothing wrong actually.
Nothing wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
Except for kalau you kalau you tak serious lah.
Wrong lah, but other
Tapi nothing
there's nothing wrong, okay? So I guess that's all for this episode.
Yep.
Alright, okay. Thank you and see you guys next time.